Catus, Maximus here, this time with a review of this mechanics ratchet. And only mechanics can use this, cats can't. And if you don't do any mechanics, then this really isn't the ratchet for you. But if you are a mechanic and do mechanics on mechanical things, maybe this ratchet might be for you. Actually, this I was digging through piles of terrible ratchets, and then this kind of popped out. It has an old corncob comfort grip. Looked kind of decent. The first thing I noticed was the anvil is actually surprisingly tight for a round head ratchet, and then seemed to operate pretty good. I took a closer look at it. I could see that the switch is inset in a steel ring, so that makes it impossible for it to self-reverse because the body of the ratchet is separate from the switch, and so there can't be possibilities of crud building up and causing it to self-reverse. Well, the handle starts just to grab the switch, and then when you go back to apply force, it already essentially partially reverses. I was also noticing how symmetrical the grind is. It's like really even. That's one telltale sign on the quality control is on any ratchet or a hand tool for that matter is just the real how even and symmetrical the grind is. And I was really surprised. This arc is pretty good. It's not like all lopsided or uneven. Really surprised about this ratchet. Strong detent too, and seems to work just fine. Actually has a pretty large switch, which is pretty easy to access. So, as part of my deal with reviewing all the different ratchets, I decided to include this one. Also notice that it says chrome vanadium and it's Japanese made. This isn't actually a Chinese ratchet, which might also help explain its having a very cheesy name but unusually decent build quality. It feels like it's just a standard SK design, and this is going to be sometimes these spiral springs or retaining rings can be a bear. This one indeed had a little notch under it, so I was able to get it. You just kind of press on it, but sometimes they can be pretty tough to deal with. This one's definitely kind of old and corroded, but we'll get that off of there. Come on, don't get jammed. Seems like this is only like a 50 tooth or something. And indeed, nothing real special there. This is just a standard, what we call an SK style rocking pawl design. At least it has 3 little teeth instead of 2, and it's a decent sized pawl. Of course, the weak spot on this ratchet is going to be the pin that integrates into that pawl, or that the pawl rocks on, because that pin, of course, is much smaller than the 3/8 anvil in this case. So that's why I always gripe about single pin ones, is because at least, or single pawls, at least you want 2 pawls so you can have 2 pins and have a bit more strength, or use another proprietary round head design like a New Britain. Anyway, but as far as a budget ratchet, this thing really isn't half bad. And one of those don't judge a book by its cover type of deal. So if you actually see one of these mechanics round heads and it's like $1 or something, $2, $3, I might go ahead and, I'd recommend picking it up just to have a beater ratchet. I'm kind of surprised. Anyway, really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Till next time, Catus Maximus out.